Lately, I've changed my focus with training from hypertrophy to calisthenics skills, such as the planche and front lever and stuff like this. Now, this change in focus requires a huge change in approach as well. So up until this point, I've had a balanced routine where I would train each skill and each muscle group equally. Now, if you want to make a lot of progress in skills, you have to do them frequently. And this means that you have to pick the skill that you're focusing on. And for a period of time, you'll have to focus on that and let the other ones go. You can do maintenance, but you have to focus on making progress in that one skill that you've picked. And this approach requires a periodized routine. Periodization is an incredibly complex topic. You can do it 100 different ways, so I'm not going to get into that in this video. Point is that right now I am focusing on progressing with the planche while maintaining the front lever. Another thing is that when you're training the planche and the front lever, which are static skills, fatigue management starts to play a huge role in your training. These exercises are quite intense and they put a lot more fatigue on your system than just training for hypertrophy. These skills also put a lot more wear onto your joints and tendons, which heal slower than your muscles. So you have to pay attention to not only recovering your muscles, but also the tendons and the joints in your body. So when it comes to the planche, I've been focusing on the proper shoulder positioning and also the proper protraction of the scapulars. I've been training planche for quite some time now, and just now I've realized that my form was wrong all along. And so now I have to take a huge step back and actually learn the proper movements and the proper activations for the skill, and then build the strength needed for those proper activations. I could already do a few seconds of straddle planche, but with bad form. So now I have to go back to the previous progression, which is the advanced tuck planche, and fix my form, and then I can move on to harder progressions and build the right strength. So as you can see, I'm working on my form and I have a long way to go. I can't seem to find what the problem is. Like, I don't know if it's just my glutes not flexing, because I have never paid attention to that, so it's a strong possibility. But also I don't see sometimes my scapula protracting in the right way. You know, it's just quite frustrating, to be honest, because I thought that I can do a straddle planche already. Yeah, it's pretty painful, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and the first step of solving any problem is realizing there is a problem. So I'm still quite happy that I have figured this one out. I thought that my form will get better with time and with strength, but it's not that easy, because you have to learn the proper activation. You have to activate the muscles in a particular way, and if you're not activating your muscles the right way, you'll never get that strength that will help you achieve the right form. So you have to, I have to take a huge step back and focus on correcting my form, and then I can start developing the strength needed for the planche. So I'm gonna do a last set of planche leans just to practice this scapular protraction and shoulder positioning, like the depressed shoulders. It's incredibly important, and I've never paid attention to that either. So no wonder that my form looks like shit. Yeah, let's get this last set and head home. It is an extremely humbling experience when you find out that you cannot even do a proper formed advanced duck planche when you already thought that you can do a straddle. I'm kind of crushed by it, but yeah, I'm determined to learn the planche the right way. So yeah, let's take a fucking huge step back and start working on the correct form of the advanced duck planche. Okay, that was not that bad. It was not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I think I need to work on depressing my shoulders a little bit more, and I need to figure out how I activate my hamstrings to pull my legs up, and also my, I guess abs to like pull in my ass. I still feel like my shoulder wasn't really depressed. You kind of have to pay attention to a lot of things. I was more concentrated on having the right hip position. But yeah, I don't know if I succeeded in that, so I'm gonna re-watch the video and keep working away at it because this is shit. And I'm gonna have to stop now because I already did a planche session yesterday. And yeah, I don't really want to interfere with my training, and yeah, this is just extra. I felt that I have a little extra energy and I felt rested, but now I really have to stop and recover because overtraining is not good, and I've been doing it for way longer than I should. So yeah, I'm gonna have to learn my lesson and control my impulses. And although I really fucking love working away at these exercises, I'm gonna have to control myself and stop and come back when I have scheduled training. Today's workout may or may not be a mistake because I have some pain in my forearm here, which is quite a common thing when you're training planche, especially if you overtrain. And also my sternum hurts a little bit, so yeah, these are not good signs. I've gone a bit too hard in the last 2 weeks, I think. So I'm just gonna take it easy. I don't want to skip a whole week entirely, but I'm just gonna go easy on the planche training, obviously, and yeah, try to recover. Hopefully I'll be back in the business next week. Fingers crossed. We'll see about that. But yeah, today I'm gonna do a very light and quick planche training. I'm gonna do some band assisted stuff, and I'm gonna dial back the progressions that I'm doing as well. So yeah, it's pretty much gonna be advanced duck with the band and duck with the band, which sounds terrible, to be honest, but that's what we're gonna roll with. So yeah, let's see what I can do. Okay, let's talk about the conclusion very quickly. First, it is incredibly fucking cold, and I should have dressed accordingly, but the sunshine got to me and I thought that it might as well be a bit warmer than the usual, but no, it is even colder than the usual because like there's some wind as well. But more importantly, I don't really have to train planche this week or just pushing strength in general, because I have kept it incredibly minimal as you have seen it, but still I feel my sternum during the actual leans and stuff like that, and it was banded planche lean, so like that is not an incredibly hard exercise, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna keep it incredibly minimal this week. I've tried doing a front lever which seemed to be good, so I'm gonna focus on that this week. Recovery is very important and I'm learning it the hard way, so don't make the same mistakes as me. When it comes to the handstand, I had an incredibly terrible workout. I couldn't even hold a proper handstand. I am working on skills like the one-arm handstand, the handstand push-up, the 90-degree push-up, and I couldn't even kick up to a proper handstand. And so this is the point where you just have to realize that, okay, I've been overtraining and I need to auto-regulate, which is an incredibly important principle of calisthenics training and strength training in general. So I decided to take it easy that day, do a few attempts and rest and let my body recover. These skills produce a lot of systemic fatigue as well, which means that your central nervous system gets tired. And so you have to recover, not just in your muscles, but in your mind as well. When it comes to the front lever, I've been focusing on holds and rows. And this is a good approach if you're trying to learn the touch front lever or the front lever pull-up. But my goal right now is to just unlock the full front lever. And for that, raises and negatives are way better than just rows. And I say this because raises are way closer to activating the exact muscles that work in the full front lever. Rows are great as well, but I think that they might be better for the touch front lever and skills like that. Today I'm gonna do my first cold immersion. I have been doing cold showers fairly regularly for the last, I don't know, maybe half a year. So I'd like to think that I have some type of conditioning to cold, but yeah, this will be quite an intense experience, I imagine, because cold water immersion is way more intense than doing just cold showers, because when you're in the water, water is all around you and it can cool you down much faster. And also, this water is gonna be around 5 Celsius, which is probably colder than what I have here in the shower. As someone doing it for the first time, I'm trying to minimize the risks involved. So I'm gonna just go in for a quick dip and then come out. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna do today.
Big exhale titter. Meow meow. Bla, tutto. Ammazza. Ma io. Jó? Várj egy picit, hátra jobb lesz, és utána visszamész még egyet.
Normális vagy?
Fázol?
Konkrét.
Fázol?
Nem, de fáj a boka.
Menjél még egyet. Most megszoktad.
Mi van, fogdal? Fucking pain. Ennyi, that's it.
So the cold plunge ended up being quite a bit less intense than I was preparing for. My feet were hurting, which I didn't really understand. Now that I think about it, it's probably because earlier that day I've been running and the fatigue that accumulated in my muscles was the thing that caused this pain. But yeah, it was a strange experience. But overall, the cold plunge was a pleasant experience and I'm glad I did it. So the reason I got into this deliberate cold exposure thing is because it is said to have a positive effect on recovery and it strengthens your immune system and you're less likely to catch a cold or something. You'll become adapted to cold, which is also a plus. And one of the main reasons why I do it is you can build incredible mental strength. And doing cold exposure, you are deliberately putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And this is an incredibly important skill as it transfers to everything that you're doing. And in life, you have to do a lot of uncomfortable things if you want to get good results. You have to work to make money. You have to work out and eat decently to build a physique that you can be proud of. You have to do all these painful things in life. By pain, I mean mental pain. And with cold exposure, you can train your body and condition your mind to doing these things as opposed to bailing out of tough situations or wanting to be comfortable. Now there are a few potential negative effects of cold exposure, such as short-circuiting your hypertrophy gains. To eliminate this effect, you shouldn't do cold exposure in the 4 hours following your workout. But if you do it after that 4-hour window or before your workout, you'll probably be just fine. Doing cold exposure can interfere with your sleep. Cold exposure causes a rise in body temperature, which has a wake-up effect. And that we don't want this late in the day. So to eliminate this, you can do your cold exposure early in the day and you'll have no problem sleeping. Another thing to keep in mind is that If you're not adapted to cold and you go in quickly into extremely cold water, that can give you a heart attack, which sounds terrible, but obviously if you pay attention to just doing it slowly and adapting to cold before doing any extreme cold exposure, then you'll be fine.